Hey guys, Sean here. Today, Luke and I are back with another tier list. Today, we'll be ranking the best fusion monsters in Yu-Gi-Oh! So we got some tiers here. We have...
I fusion summon a Floodgate, activate Super Poly, Chaos Ancient Gear Gaming, and this deck can fusion summon?
So let's get right into it. Okay, so we're looking at, the best fusion monsters from, of all time, basically. We got the banned boys on here too, so let's get right into it. We'll start off with a very good one, Guardian Chimera. I almost want to put him in top tier right away, but maybe we'll just put him down here for now.
Yeah, but I think he is subject to go up, just because a card that on summon can pop and draw, like, that's really good in my books. And the fact that it's generic as well, just takes 3 monsters from your field and your hand. Honestly, just a really good card. I cannot give it enough praise.
There's a reason it's so expensive, and there's a reason it's in every fusion deck. So I think he belongs up here. You can't super poly him, but you get the picture. A card you can super poly, but also does not belong in that tier, is Garua. Garua is actually insane. One of the best super poly targets made in a while.
Yeah, another gem from Power of the Elements. Guru is really good because of the 2 effects. One graveyard effect being is when he's sent there, you can draw a card, and of course you can dogmatic a punishment to get that effect. But also the fact that he's very fair in the sense that he has low attack stats being 1500, but also high defense stat being 24. But also the fact that if he inflicts damage to your opponent, you can actually double up that damage as well. So that's really good generic. And the fact that he's so generic is basically just a super poly target. Just needing 2 monsters with the same type and attribute with different names means he can be really crippling to a lot of archetypes.
Pretty cool. Alright, speaking of that, pretty cool. This card's good, but it's so hard to use. Invoked Caliga. It's a really good Floodgate, but you can only really play it in Invoked.
Yeah, I see some people kind of make up kind of ways where they can kind of swindle him out one way or another just to add an extra sort of floodgate. You can use instant fusion to bring him out, however that won't really do too much, because instant fusion destroys it at the end of the turn. However, there are funny ways that people can bring him out, but again, that is mostly just used for invoked.
Even in invoked, I don't see many people use him, so Alright. Thunder Dragon Colossus, I think, he's banned, so there's an argument to put him down here, but I think he's pretty good. I think he's a very good monster. However, here's the thing, so he's a droll on legs, we all know that. He's very easy to summon. He stops your opponent from adding cards from their deck to their hand. He's pretty good, and he's banned in the TCG, but in Master Duel, no one's playing him. So, I don't think he's broken. He's really good, but I don't think he's broken.
Yeah, no, I don't think he is as broken that he needs to be banned, especially for this long. However, he is powerful enough that he does deserve a spot in the top tier.
Alright, ABC Dragon Buster. It was very good when it came out, but it's just, you're locked into the archetype. You can't really play this card in any other decks. But if you're playing ABC, it's pretty cool. There's a lot of monsters on this list that are only good in their archetype. But this is a pretty damn good monster because you can contact fuse him, pops cards in the field, or banishes cards in the field. He's just really good. I don't know what else to say about him, he's just a decent guy.
Northern should go top tier.
Yeah.
He is banned for a reason. Holy shit. This guy is a 1 card rank 4 basically. If you just instant fusion him out, he's able to special summon level 4 from the graveyard. That's an instant rank 4 right there. There's a reason he's banned, and he's probably going to be banned for life, so keep him there.
Yeah, definitely better than Colossus, to be honest. Colossus could easily come back before Northern comes back.
Definitely.
Speaking of things that were banned, Construct is pretty good. I'd say about here.
I think you're right, yeah. Construct is a little bit power crept, which is unfortunate to say because I do really love Shaddolls. But Construct is very good because it's just one of these cards that has multiple effects that each serve a really good purpose. If it's sent to the graveyard, you can add a Shaddol card that was in the graveyard to your hand. When it's brought out, you can dump a Shaddol card, and also the battle trick that it has is very good. Construct deserves to be very high, but just not quite top tier anymore.
Okay, next up we have the best card in the game. No, the second best card in the game. Blue Eyes Twin Burst. Okay, let's be honest here. First of all, he's not bad enough to go down here, but I don't think he's the best.
Yeah, the reason why I really like him is the fact that Well, as I say, since a lot of cards are like anti-destruction now, what makes Twin Burst so good is not only can he attack twice on monsters during the battle phase, but also if he attacks a monster and at the end of the damage step, if that monster isn't destroyed, you just straight up banish that monster, which is really, really good removal for like some of these monster towers as well. And the fact that he can't destroy battle himself means that this is a really, really powerful effect.
And it's a blue eyes monster, you know. Should be top tier.
Of course.
Alright, we have Cyber Dark End Dragon. Now, this boy, he's big as fuck. He is like a 5k towers. However, he is almost impossible to summon unless you're playing like a really bad deck. You really have to be playing Cyber Darks to summon him. You can't really summon him in Cyber Dragons. And he's not worth playing Cyber Darks. Now, if you like Cyber Darks, yeah, he's a cool boss monster. And in general, he is like genuinely a cool boss monster. But he's just part of a really shit deck. So unfortunately, he goes about here.
Honestly, just because I'm looking at what's to come, I drop him down a tier.
Alright. I'm not going to argue for his case.
Alright, Dragoon.
Okay.
You know...
Well, okay, no, about here.
Oh, he's better than Colossus.
Probably.
Yeah, definitely better than Colossus. You remember Predaplant format when people were just like turbing Dragoon into every witch deck.
You're right.
Dragoon's just really, really good. Red Eyes Fusion's one of these like fusion someone using Material Summon deck sort of cards. And if you're using normal monsters being Red Eyes Black Dragon and Dark Magician, then this guy is absolutely insane. But the fact that people can still like bring him in into a lot of just random decks. I even had him in Virtual World when I was able to somewhat bullshit my way into making him in Virtual World. So this shows how versatile and how good he is that you kind of want to force him into every deck. Omni Negates and attack increase, insanely good on any monster.
Can't be targeted either.
Can't be targeted or destroyed either, like crazy.
Alright, we have Gem Knight Master Diamond. Cringe. Fuck this card. This card deserves to be banned forever. I don't like FTKs. Even though like Gem Knights are a cool deck, the fact that they can just like have a really consistent FTK deck is just cringe. So fuck Master Diamond. It looks cool, I like the background, but fuck this goddamn card. Starving Venom, very good. I don't know if we should put all the Super Poly targets up in top tier. It's a good Super Poly target, but it's very like, you know, it's only 2 darks, so it's not as generic.
No, it's 2 darks on the field specifically.
Ooh, that's
so I will put it in Activate Super Poly. Because here's the thing, with all the Activate Super Poly like targets, they're all very, very good because Super Poly is a very powerful board wipe considering that your opponent can't respond to it. Which is very powerful, but I think out of all of them, Gararia is the best one. And I think Gararia is the only one that deserves to be in top tier. I think the other can go into Activate Super Poly. Because they are very good, but it can be quite situational. Like for example, with Starving Venom Fusion Dragon and these 2 dark monsters on the field, if you're yourself playing a dark deck, yeah, this can be great. It can be game changing, game stealing and all that. But it's not guaranteed your opponent's going to be playing dark monsters in their deck. They could be playing Flunderies or something like that. So very situational.
I'd have to agree, but I will say another good thing about it is like it has some weird effects. So when it's summoned, you can gain a bunch of attack if you target a special summon monster. You can also copy the effect of a level 5 or higher monster on the field, which is really funny because you can target something like a Fenrir and then just use the Fenrir effect, which is just so weird, but it's just like, it hardly comes up, but it's a very funny interaction that can happen. And then it also has like the Mirror Jade effect where if it leaves the field, you can destroy all special summon monsters your opponent controls. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, as we said, has plenty of restrictions, so I think it belongs at the top of Activate Super Poly. Now, best card in the game right here, Blue Eyes Alternative Ultimate Dragon. He's just really good. He's just a really good Blue Eyes card. You can pop 3 cards in the field if you fuse him with Blue Eyes Alternative Dragon. So he's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's the only big Blue Eyes monster that I kept in my Blue Eyes build, which you should check out, by the way. I definitely really, really like him. It's rare that I go into him in the build, but when I do, it can be game-changing. So definitely deserves to be where it is. Not powerful enough that I think it deserves to be higher, but definitely it's sitting nicely right there.
We got Ormatile. Unfortunately not as good as Blue Eyes, but he's just so based. He's just so cool. 10k attack. Can be destroyed by battle. If you fuse him with the archetype specific fusion spell, you take no battle damage with him. He's just awesome. He's so cool. Part of the best deck ever, Sacred Beast. So
Sacred Beast,
of course. Definitely, you know, he's alright. He's difficult to summon. The fusion spell definitely helps, but yeah, you know, he's He's kind of a gimmicky boss monster, but he's very cool because I cannot resist 10,000 attack. I'll be honest with you. Okay, we have another one of these FTK enablers. Starving, Venom, whatever. Fuck this card. That's all I can say. If you enable an FTK, just get the fuck out of here. Okay, Mirror Jade. This definitely belongs like probably here.
Yeah, it's better than Colossus.
Mirror Jade is just so good. Like it's just so good. Non-target banish multiple times. Like it's too fucking good, man. What can I say? It's so good. And then you can't even get rid of it because it pops all the cards in the field after it leaves the field. So like, it's just such an annoying card. You also like plus off of using his effect because you normally dump your Albion and then you're in the end phase Albion like gets you a card. So it's actually just insane, and it's even like more materials engraved for fusion summoning. So yeah, it's just Mirror Jade. Like it's one of those monsters, you know, one of those fucking monsters that kind of changed the game when it came out. And also summon it from deck, you know, fucking branded fusion, go straight into him. So yeah, pretty good card. Pretty good card. Best card in the game, we got Chaos Engine Gear Giant. Let's fucking go. So let me tell you guys, part of the best deck, Ancient Gears, is unaffected by spells and traps. 4,500 attack, can attack all your opponent's monsters, does piercing, and during the battle phase, your opponent cannot activate monster effects. Broken, absolutely unstoppable. What else you want me to say? He's awesome. Even looking at him, he's so cool. Next we have Mudragon. I feel like Mudragon goes below. Well, here's the thing. Mudragon doesn't do much. It was very good in tier. It's a good super poly target, obviously, because it's like, you know, generic materials. But I can argue with it going down here, or like below Grua.
I think top of Activate Super Poly. Not just because the namesake of the tier, but I do think it's very, very good. It was great in tier, but his effect is kind of situational, that he can like change his attribute to be like whatever. Unless if you're playing a fusion specific deck, that's the only time that we're going to use his effect. Really, most of the time it's just a super poly board breaker type situation.
We have Masked Hero Darklaw. Pretty good, I'd say about here. It's a pretty good card.
Yeah, it can be quite devastating to a lot of decks, considering a lot of decks really rely on the graveyard, and that this is a one-sided macrocosmos. But the thing that really pushes Darklaw over the edge is the fact that he has the other effect that if your opponent adds a card from like their deck to their hand, you can just randomly banish one card in their hand, which is really, really good, can be really devastating. Hand ripping is really crippling no matter what the situation is. So Darklaw having that effect, along with the one-sided macrocosmos, makes him really, really good. I feel like I kind of want to put him higher, but I just see all the other guys in this list. I don't know, I think...
I can make an argument for him over Construct because you can run cards like Mask Change 2 in any like dark deck to get him out. So maybe, because you can't really do that in... I mean, I guess you could run a Shaddoll engine in any deck and just bring a Construct, but you wouldn't really do that.
No, you mostly, if you're doing a Shaddoll engine, you're bringing out Winda instead. I would put him above Construct in that sense. He is really, really good. You know, I'll leave him there. I'll try and move on. But he is very, very good. But speaking of better hero monsters.
Yeah, this guy's pretty good.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
I think, well, you know, when Verte was legal and all that, yeah, DPE was like really good. But now, he's only really good in heroes. Certain decks can run a DPE engine. But, you know, you're not really going to be putting him in every deck. But the decks he is in, he is insane. Not as like generic as Dragoon. You can't really use any substitution cards to get him out. You really have to rely on using Fusion Destiny. He's really good because he keeps coming back. So you just always pop 2 cards and then you bring him back during the next standby phase. So very difficult to get rid of. He's not worth like making room for as much as cards like Dragoon, just because Dragoon is just way better. Like a negate is most of the time better than a pop. So I think this is decent here. We have 1,000 Eyes Restrict.
Yeah.
Something like this, because it's okay.
I put him above Twin because he's more generic. You can bring him off of Instant Fusion, and he's able to just steal up a monster, which is really, really good for like removal and stuff like that. So I think the fact that he's able to do that is really, really good. Also, the fact that he's a spellcaster, you can bring him back off of Selene as well, I find to be very, very good too. So yeah, he definitely deserves a spot there. He's not as good as Kaliga, but yeah, no, this was like a staple for a lot of decks at the time.
Next we have Predaplant Dragus Depelia. I would say about here, because he's like kind of difficult to get out. You need a fusion monster and a dark. A lot of decks can do it, like Branded obviously. Plenty of decks can get him out, but he's not a good super poly target. Like, he technically is one, but you're not really going to be super polying into him. But you know, he's a quick effect, target a monster in the field and negate it, and you can do that every turn, so really good. He's pretty big as well, 2700, hard to get over. He also changes the level of your opponent's monster that's negating to 1, which can mess up like Xyz plays and a lot of other things, which is very funny. So I think he's like pretty good.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think he deserves to be where he is.
Next we have Invoked Mechaba, a very good card, but you know, again, situational, because you can really only summon him in like one deck.
Yeah, however, he is very powerful in that deck, but the fact that he's pretty much a one-card combo to bring him out is very, very good. And not only is that a one-card combo to bring him out, but it's also a one-card combo to get you a monster negate. You can probably throw it into a few decks, however, it is most powerful in Invoked.
Would you say he's better or worse than Darklaw?
I think he is slightly better than Darklaw. It is a very, very tough competition. However, I think a Monster Negate is a little bit better than a Macrocosmos.
Fair enough. Alright, Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon. He's good in like Cyber Dragons. Very good in Cyber Dragons.
Yeah.
But you know, it's kind of like, it requires a lot of setup. He can break boards in combination with Clockwork Knight and then the Cyber Dragon, so that's hilarious.
Yeah.
He's not as generically useful as something like Mega Fleet, but you know, he's awesome.
I think considering Rescue Ace is really, really powerful right now, I put it just beneath Construct.
Okay.
This might be a sign of the times, but I think like, yeah, now he's more prevalent than ever. There's a big focus on machine decks recently with Super Heavy Samurai and Rescue Ace. So I think now more than ever, you might be seeing Fortress Dragon appear a lot more.
Next up, Elder Entity Entis. Probably, this is kind of tough. I can't put it in top tier, but
I'd put it
maybe here, mainly because you're not going to summon it, you're going to use this effect in Grave.
That is correct. Yeah, it is a very, very good way to pop. You know what's funny? I'm actually like terrified playing Virtual World sometimes, because in my virtual build I use both Synchros and Xyz quite a lot. And I'm just waiting for the day for someone to super poly and hard go into Entis.
That would be absolutely fucking based.
Because
Holy
that
shit.
would be the most funniest thing of all time if someone actually did that to me. Honestly, I'd forfeit right there. I would respect the hell out of that. So, and Entis is just a really, really good card. Of course, it's mostly used for the likes of Dogmatic Punishment and cards that dump stuff directly from the extra deck. Like Nadir Servant, another example. It's really good just to have a pop, so I think it is very, very good. It deserves to be in the position it is. Not too sure if a pop is as good as a Monster Negate in Mechaba, but I think for the sake of it, I think we'll leave it there. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I think, you know, it's just very kind of generic. Like, you can use this in a lot more decks than you can use Mechaba in, so I think it's about in its right place, I think.
Yeah.
Chimera Tech Rampage Dragon, probably like here.
Yeah, you can pretty much only use it in Cyber Dragon. I think it's the best Cyber Dragon fusion monster. The reason why I say that is because, of course, it's really powerful. It enables OTKs, but the reason why I put Fortress just a little bit above it is just the fact that Fortress will be more prevalent as of this format right now. But overall, I do personally prefer Rampage Dragon, but I'm just thinking ahead to the format right now.
Quintet Magician, this card fucking sucks.
He's not the worst.
He's alright. I know a lot of people played him in Necro Valley decks. So, you know, I don't even know what he does, I'll be 100% honest.
Honestly, me neither. He's decent because you can magicalize fusion into it, but even still, you're getting rid of 5-year spellcasters from your field and graveyard, which just is not ideal.
Next up, Buster Plater, the Dragon Destroyer Swordsman. Okay, I'm going to be fair here. This card is very good in certain formats. I'm very surprised that branded players didn't use this when Bestials came out. Because the same way you can summon Dragoon in branded decks, you can also summon Buster Blader. And it just shuts off your opponent's like Dragon guys, so shuts off all their Bestials, completely kills Dragon Link. I'm just so surprised people didn't use this. because it's such a cool card. And obviously, you know, Buster Blader is best deck in the game. So, you know, it's pretty cool. It's such a like strong kind of, it's a very specific floodgate, but it's very strong because it turns off dragon type effects in your opponent's possession, which means their hand, deck, graveyard, extra deck even, main deck. It just turns it all off. Buster Blader engine can go into a lot of decks even, so like, it's not like one of those things where it's locked into one deck. You can just put this little engine in a lot of decks and it can be pretty helpful. It can be pretty powerful, so you know, I think it belongs up here. I think it deserves some respect.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Okay. Rainbow Neos.
I love Rainbow Neos. I think he's so cool.
That's what I'm thinking.
Honestly, yeah, just the fact that he has 3 effects. Here's the funniest thing. What's so underrated about this card is his effect that he's able to mill 1 card and shuffle your opponent's graveyard into their deck. Considering that the graveyard is pretty much a second hand, getting rid of your opponent's second hand I think is hilarious. That's what makes it so funny. Not only that, he also has 2 other effects, which are both very good, one being a board wipe for monster, another being a spell trap wipe in the back row. I think he's really, really funny, and actually there was a Rainbow Neo specific deck that topped a few years back, which I think is really, really funny as well, so I think he deserves to be up there. And the fact that Neos Fusion exists, mean like you can fuse from deck to bring him out, I think is really, really funny.
OG branded fusion, let's go. Okay, we have Chimera Tech Mega Fleet. I think it belongs higher than Fortress because it's more generic. Summon a Cyber Dragon and then get rid of whatever extra deck monster your opponent has in the EMZ. So it's pretty good. It can get rid of cards like, you know, a Rival Agnister, it can get rid of Crusadia Avramax, or just whatever your opponent has in the extra monster zone. So I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, I'd agree. The importance of contact fusioning is really, really good, especially because they're pretty much just like kaijus, but giving you more advantage. So any card that contact fuses, I think is really, really good and deserves to be here.
Okay, Kit Kalos.
Yeah, we ain't messing around anymore.
Yeah, fuck this card. So obviously everyone knows in tier this card is insane because it's a part of like a mill 8 combo, which is kind of cringe. Even it's a instant fusion target, so you could technically use this in multiple decks. And even you could dump it off of cards like extra Foolish Burial, just send it to grave, mill 5. So it's very generic, even though it doesn't seem like it. Just mill 5, so any deck that wants to mill cards, you just run this. Banned for a reason, hopefully it stays banned. Tier does not need this card. Tier is doing fucking great on its own right now. So yeah, we don't need to bring this back, let's just keep it banned.
Yeah, Tier is still really powerful without this card, so just having this be the neuter to it, and the fact that it still didn't even feel neutered is absolutely insane. But this card is still really powerful. Hopefully it stays banned for a good long time.
Next up, Borlode, Furious Dragon. I'm thinking here, maybe in between, something like this.
I'm thinking lower, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of, you know, you can only really use it in like Dragon decks or like Branded or something like that.
Yeah, but the fact that you need to get rid of one of your monsters in order to get rid of one of your opponents, I think is a bit annoying. Of course, it's a quick effect, so that's very, very good.
It's just bad DPE, basically.
Yeah, it's really bad DPE. It's decent, but I don't know if I'd be exactly singing its praises. I know I played in Blue Eyes, but that's just because I duality into him, which, you know, is pretty good. You can make that argument, but yeah, you know, maybe leave him there. I don't think he's as good as Buster Blader personally, but if you want to leave him there, that's fine.
Buster Blader would fuck him up. He's a dragon. Let's
exactly.
Go. Okay, Winda definitely deserves to be high up here.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
maybe
Winda's great.
Something like this.
I'd put it just one above. Yeah, just because Winda is crazy. You can throw it in a lot of different decks. It's an instant fusion target, and what makes it good under instant fusion is because it's a spellcaster. So if you are playing a spellcaster deck that has Selene on the board, when you instant fusion and a Winda gets sent to the graveyard during the end phase, over to your opponent's turn, you can quick effect during the draw phase and just special summon Winda back by removing spell counters, which is absolutely crazy. It's a really, really good floodgate. It means you can only special summon once per turn, but it's still really, really good. 2200 attack and cannot be destroyed by card effects. Winda is a little bit crazy, and it was no wonder it was banned for a little while.
Finally, 5-headed dragon. This is the best Super Poly target in the Buster Blader deck because you use Buster Dragon to turn all your opponent's monsters to Dragon type. Then you Super Poly all their board, and you make the king himself 5-headed dragon.
Base.
Let's go. Best card in the game. So that's it for the list. Let us know what you think in the comments. I think it's a pretty good list. I think there's like, not much to argue with here. I think it's pretty based. If we forgot any of your favorite fusion monsters, let us know. Let us know what you think in the comments. Give us some suggestions for tier lists we can do in the future. And yeah, thanks for watching.